Did you know that there's a guidebook on how to destroy a man? Let's talk about it. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back to Charisma Podcast. Today, I'm going to be breaking down the insights of the book called How to Destroy a Man Now. Did you know that there was even such a guidebook? Well, today I'm going to be sharing that with you. It's going to be a little bit different show today. And for those who are watching this episode on YouTube, it will be breaking up into four parts because there's four chapters to this book. But if you're listening to this or watching this on a podcasting stream, you'll get the full review of the book in this entire episode. But let me just jump into what I am talking about. I came across this book, How to Destroy a Man Now. So I've gone to the back of the cover and I just want to share with you what is the book about before we jump into it. It says, it asks the question, want to destroy a man's reputation and remove him from power for misconduct? This handbook by Dr. Angela Confidential tells you how. In How to Destroy a Man Now, DAM, this is the acronym, business psychologist Angela Confidential empowers women with a step-by-step guide for ruining a man's reputation and removing him from positions of power. In easy to understand terms, the handbook reveals and explains the fundamental dynamics between allegations, the media, and authority as they relate to male misconduct in today's society. It also unveils and details practical, real world methods for leveraging allegations, media, and authorities to dethrone a man. Angela Confidential has a doctorate in psychology and is an accomplished consultant and human resource professional. She brings a valuable blend of expertise, experience, and practical advice in the areas of social science, thinking and behavior, and allegations of male misconduct in the workplace and other contexts. Now, what they fail to tell you is that in this synopsis at the back cover of the book, is that it's not really about a man's misconduct that this book is about, that they're saying that this is a guide to destroy men. This is really to destroy a man, regardless of if the misconduct is true or false. So there's a little bit of shenanigans going on here, but you will get to see what I am talking about and you can decide for yourself. So let's jump right into it. And this is going to be interesting because when I read the book, I was like, unreal. So let me go back to the beginning and start right as the first page. So this is a cover of the book, and it's How to Destroy a Man Now. So let's move on to the chapters. As I said, this is going to be broken down into four sections. Okay, here we go. So before I move on, damn, which is an acronym, it says here, in Christian belief, be condemned by God to suffer eternal punishment in hell. Condemn, especially by the public expression of disapproval. So this is, she's, given the definition of the word damn. And this is exactly what she's laying out in detail on how to damn a man or send him to hell. Because pretty much when this happens to a man, he's living in hell here on earth. So there's the introduction, and then there's four chapters. The first chapter is the damn fundamentals. Chapter 2 is the damn online method, crafting allegations, leveraging media, leveraging authority. Chapter 3 is the damn at work method, crafting allegations, leveraging media, and leveraging authority. And number four is why these damn methods work. And also then she makes reference to works cited. So let's get into the introduction. Let's hear what Angela Confidential has to say. And by the way, that's not her real name. Obviously, she didn't want people to come after her for writing such a controversial and damning book. So, introduction. As women, we have been oppressed by men's physical advantages over us since the beginning of humankind. But now in today's modern societies, tables are finally turning, especially with the advent of the internet and social media and the economy's transition from manufacturing to information. Women are leveraging their natural advantages, example, social skills, emotional intelligence, and communication to gain power. You've probably utilized these advantages to some degree already. In one form or another, for example, as a child in school, I recall the boys using physical strength and aggression, example, punching, to bully girls. That was their power. Girls, on the other hand, used communication and accusation, example, spreading rumors to undermine boys. This is our power. The purpose of this handbook is to be a resource, a collection of tools and techniques that has proven powerful in women's struggle against patriarchy. I did not invent these methods, I only described them. Be advised, however, that the methods outlined in this handbook were chosen for their utility or their ability to achieve results rather than for their legal or ethical merit. Meaning, in other words, they're going to use these methods to damage and destroy a man's life, right? It has nothing to do with legalities, but they're going to do it anyways. In other words, in other words, the formation information presented here does not purport to be legally or ethically sound. I think I read that already. What is considered to be right or legal often changes with time, the prevailing culture, and the evolution of law. This handbook is a work of free speech. How the content is used, misused, or not used is at the sole discretion of the reader, and I, as the author, retain no responsibility. Similarly, I'm publishing this book under the pseudonym, I think I've said that wrong, of Angela Confidential to protect from backlash, like what I said. Enjoy. Okay, chapter one. Now, I'm not going to read every single thing. I'll put a link below so that you can find the book and read on your own. I'm just going to be highlighting for the essence of time. I don't want to be going through reading the whole thing because it'll take hours to go through this book and read it. So I'm just going to be highlighting and sharing with you key information within the book, which I want to bring to your attention. And you probably would be familiar with some of these strategies that's put forth in this book. Have you seen it in the media and how it's already destroyed lots of men's lives? Okay, chapter one. The damn fundamentals. Let's begin with some introduction. We have three key friends or fundamentals that make it possible to destroy a man now. Damn. To damn well, it's important to know them well. Our first ally is Allison allegation. Allegations can be so simple, effective, and easy to employ that is elegant. An allegation is a claim, usually without proof, that someone has done something illegal or wrong. A claim, at minimum, requires nothing more than an assertion. For example, if I yelled from the rooftop that the world is flat, I have successfully made a claim. Similarly, identifying wrongdoing requires only observation, recollection, or a minimal amount of imagination. From lying to murder, any behavior that you've seen or heard, experienced, or you can think of that violates an ethical or legal standard can suffice for an allegation. However, it's the last part of what constitutes an allegation that makes it uniquely useful. No evidence is required. This independence from proof allows you to make an allegation about any man doing anything without being encumbered by a need for facts. Sounds familiar? But how can something as intangible as a spoken word without evidence have enough merit or power to damn? Admittedly, if left completely on her own, Allison's allegation has relatively little power. That's where our other two friends, Mary, media, and author, authority assist. Mary Media, our second ally, encompass just about any means of communication. Media can be as elementary as whispers of gossip, although nowadays the term more often refers to mass communication platforms such as the television, the internet, or mainstream media networks. Of course, it also includes social media such as Twitter and Facebook, which you will soon see are especially well suited to damn. So, how does Mary Media help Allison allegation? Well, interestingly, they help each other. You've probably heard the philosophical, physiological, question. If your tree falls in the wood and no one hears it, did it make a sound? Although the answer to that question is still debated, it's certain that if an allegation is made and no one knows about it, it has no power. Fortunately, however, the opposite is true. The more people who know about the allegation, the more powerful it becomes. I hope that you are paying attention, men, to this, because this should be ringing a bell. The cases that come before the court system and in the court of the public opinion, they all follow this guideline. I'm not saying that the woman went through and read the book, but somehow women know instinctively to use this guide, these steps to destroy men. If you look at any court case where a man, we're not talking about the men who have done wrong and who've done something that requires justice to be served and for him to go to prison or do time or whatever that punishment may be. But we're talking about men, you men, whom you haven't done anything wrong. You've never done anything wrong to a woman, but you've been accused wrongfully. These this book, the details in this book, the steps in this book should ring a bell. And I want you to pay special attention. Thankfully for Allison allegation and for our purposes, the modern mainstream media excel at spreading information far and wide. They do it to make money, lots of money from advertisers. Yet advertisers need more than just a way to reach people. They also need a way to get people to pay attention to their advertisements, and ultimately buy products. This is where the media comes in. Media content can be videos, website posts, breaking news, and so on. Anything that garners interest, and is no secret that scandal attracts people interest, especially well. Sex sells, as the saying goes, and so does violence, injustice, misconduct, and anything else outrageous. That's why scandalous content in mainstream media has increased over the years. That's also why Mary Media helps Allison allegation. Scandalous allegations attracts people's interests. Interested people watch advertisements, advertisement sells products, and it all makes Mary Media money. However, fascinatingly, while the mainstream media profit from proliferating allegations, and I've said that wrong, I know I didn't pronounce that correctly, they bear little responsibility for doing it. Apparently, as long as the media mention that the scandal is an allegation, they are relatively safe from legal repercussions. This is because in free speech societies, people can voice opinions and unsubstantiated claims. Further, the media can also attest that they're not making the allegations, rather, they're just reporting it. So then she goes on to break down about, how the Mary Media can really help with the allegations. which whether it's true or not. But in this case, we're talking about using false allegations to destroy a man's life. In this way, and I'm reading the highlighted text, in this way, an allegation does not require to damn, it does not require evidence to damn because through media manipulation, it becomes its own evidence. Thousands, even millions of people can become organized against one man. How many times have you seen that? Likewise, the evidence and public perception of guilt created by Allison allegation and Mary media's synergy can become so prominent and powerful that our third ally, author authority, has a duty to step in. And it's authority that really helps us put the destroy in damn. Authority is defined as any person or organization that has the power to control, direct, punish, and so on, which is exactly the kind of power we need to damn. Examples include the police, judges, bosses, human resources departments, board of directors, teachers, professors, university councils, licensing and regulatory agencies, and so on. Ultimately, it's authority that plays the final role in condemning a man. So, what do we need to know about authority to damn? Well, to begin, it's important to understand that author authority is an artifact of patriarchy and chivalry. As Daddy Knight, he takes pride in his role as guardian and savior, especially of the weak, mistreated, and violated, and so on. He strives to be the hero who saves the damsel in distress. In other words, authority caters to victims, and nothing gets Arthur's authority's attention more than a call to action to save victims. To be considered a victim or damsel in distress, authority first need to perceive you as weak. Surprisingly, a great illustration of this is how authority uses usually relate to men in distress. Can you imagine what typically happens when a man walks into the police precinct and requests a restraining order against a woman? This, the officers roll their eyes and immediate disbelief ensues. This is because they simply do not perceive a man to be weaker than a woman, and for that reason, they are unwilling to provide assistance. In contrast, in patriarchal societies, women are perceived to be as weak by default and therefore deserving of help and protection in the eyes of authorities. This rings a bell to me. This reminds me of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial when there was a recording of her saying to Johnny Depp, if he was to go and share that she had assaulted him and was violent to him, that no one would believe him. Therefore, she continued to assault him and abuse him. See, so women know that they're supposed to be they're perceived as weaker than the man, and they can be always be known as the victim or the damsel in distress. Second, for the weak to attain victim status, authorities also need to perceive them as harmed or violated. In other words, authorities required a credible claim that a legal or ethical standard has been broken in order to take action, because it's their duty to enforce standards. As we now know, we can look to Allison allegation to make the claim and to Mary Media to make it credible. Nevertheless, it's still important to emphasize that authority is most likely to help us damn in instances that entail an apparent violation. And moving on, in the bottom where it had highlighted, once authorities decree that there is a victim of a violation, they can take punitive actions against the perpetrator. Example, destroy a man. Punitive actions usually entail substantial loss, such as determination, termination of employment, loss of income, loss of education, or certification, example, dismissed from school, or revocation of credentials, loss of social status or good reputation, example, public shame and humiliation, loss of financial savings, example, payments for legal settlements, and loss of freedom, example, imprisonment. In addition, the combined actions of Allison allegations, Mary media, and author authority generally result in ongoing loss of future opportunities. In this way, a man is truly damned. With a smeared reputation or record of alleged misconduct, no one will want to be associated with him. No one will want to employ him. No one will want to help him. And no one would even believe him. Further, the consequent long term stress frequently results in loss of physical and mental health. When I say these methods can destroy a man, I genuinely mean it. Moreover, these methods actually do destroy men, even powerful ones. There's no better testimony to how effective Allison allegations, Mary media, and author authority can be than the growing number of men they've destroyed, regardless of allegations being true or false. So she goes on to list, starting with Harvey Weinstein, and list a whole bunch of men that have been destroyed, whether the allegations or the crimes they've actually committed or not. So here's a list, and she goes on to list men, Kevin Spacey, a whole bunch of men. You can take the time to read them all. And the list goes on and on and on. Now, some are maybe guilty, may have been guilty, but some men on this list, the damn method was definitely used on them to destroy their reputation and their life, pretty much. And it goes on and on and on. And that concludes chapter 1 of How to Destroy a Man. Now,